If I don't hit record, I don't hit record. Hello, welcome. How are you? Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with Enchantress the Babbler on our revolutionary rise of high that is happening now at this time. Welcome. Welcome to a late night high vibe elixir. Eat this mana whole. Welcome. The world, right? A job well done. Joy, contentment, and gratitude, the path toward enlightenment. If that be you, then this message, whatever this is going to be, because I don't know, this is going to be some freestyle deliciousness, you know what I mean? But I don't rush into anything. We'll see how it goes. As you can see, free, a hot mess. I'm here. Yeah, like, you see what happened to me here? Where is it? Oh, there it goes. Right? I was showering at this club, and I did the mistake of the wash. I went like this with it, the soap of it on my face, and I went, no, because I already knew it was like projection. So literally I got one on one side and one on the other side, exactly where I had one like that. And like completely irritated my face. So, and it's a no makeup summer type thing. I mean, if I do put makeup on, and this is just in all honesty, it's like just eyeliner, like right here, and a little bit of rouge on the lips, you know. But Seven of Fire, defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely, right? And that's true, choosing your battles wisely, right? So either way, I did want to jump on before, and I was going to do it differently, and I wasn't going to be on camera and stuff like that, but I just said fuck it, like yeah, fuck it. Yeah, liberation, like not everything needs to be a presentation. Everything could be what it is, you know what I mean? So whatever. But I wanted to talk about Venus and Mercury, right? And its conjunction, right? Which means a lot of different things, but it's auspicious. It's auspicious and it's beneficial, right? It's beneficial because both of these planets, like, they represent like the arts, our skills, right? King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured, right? Open your heart and your mind to those around you, trustworthy and heartfelt advice, doing some charity work, right? But either way, this conjunction is like all about our art, it's all about our skills, right? Music, romance, and then we got this whole other, like, watch all my videos. Yeah, I know that they can be long and all this kind of stuff, and maybe you have a short attention span, or you're working on your discipline and your ability to stay present and here, you know, watch it in increments, my dear, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be all watched all at once, and not everybody has that pocket of time to be like, oh yeah, I could devote 3 hours of my time to watch the whole entire video. No, you can watch it in sips, you know, and whatever the sip style, amount, and quantity is for you, then let that be for you. Like, what the fudge? There's no race here either way, right? So either way, with this conjunction, right, be here. And then look at, I like that this is 5 of Fire, and it was reversed, right? Like, I looked at it and it's reversed, and but upright, right? It's about competing goals, battles and details, conflict with others. So it's like now falling out of conflict, right? Because granted, maybe you weren't the one to start the conflict, maybe you weren't the one to start the beef, maybe you were just awakening to certain type of things, like certain type of energies from people that be that type of way towards you, and oblivious be your nature, because you're not in that hidden layer of deception. So it's like, okay, now I see you brought me into this awareness, you see, and I had to really put myself first, right? And so at first, when you get into that like empowerment stance of like I'm sorry, this is driving me crazy, you know, when you put yourself like in in your empowerment stance, right? Your whole entire like mood of I'm not going to be a pushover. I'm not going to people please. I'm not going to allow my ability to see somebody's potential fuck me up in the present because they're not there yet. You know what I mean? And when we start putting in your, like, taking back your power, that sometimes comes with a fighting spirit, right? It's just like, you know, it's like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Hold up, come over here for a second. Or, oh, I got something to say. Like, you know, you're not gonna play that game. Like, and you know, you get rowdy, especially depending upon the elements that exist within you. That's gonna come out in a different kind of way. I got a lot of fire, water in me. I'll burn everything down and I'll drown everything too. What you thought this was? Let's have a party, right? That type of shit too. And it's just like, oh, and so everybody comes out with their elemental war. It reminds me of like, what's that? Captain Planet, Captain America, like whatever your element is, like that type of thing. And it's just like roar. And so now everybody's learning some more. Everybody's learning like, whoa, I'm not just one element. I'm like all the elements in one. And so you're learning all your departments of your elements, and you're just like, whatever. So this is fun, right? It's an awakening fun. And it's like, it should be, because when people are really about that awakening fun, they don't got beef with people because they're too busy having fun awakening within their own self. And anybody that got beef with themselves. You know what I'm saying? So shit like that. So now it's like, okay, so after you've done your rah, because I'll put my foot down. Now it's like, peace, kumbaya. Like, what am I going to keep fighting with you? You keep fighting with yourself, right? So it's just like, okay, so this conjunction helps, right? This conjunction. And then, oh, that's why and then look at also, oh my gosh, and this came out reversed too, right? Reverse. So I like how the fives, because you know, fives, people always like, I know, five. No, I don't want to see five no more, right? People are like that, right? But it's just like, it's not really about that. It's about pushing past the challenge that allows the transformation and the change to actually really take place. And granted, it'll be rough. That's okay, soldier, you got this. But now you're not in your soldier. Now you're in your, I'm soft. I'm such a lotus flower bloom. But guess where the lotus flower bloom came from? The dirt, the nasty, the mud, the, you know, the things that were just like gritty, grimy, dirty, you know? And so it's just like, but look at bloom. Oh, is this what it means to bloom? And then you're like, oh, you gotta get through that too. But what I'm trying to say, positive. We be positive here, right? The fives, they're coming out in the reverse. And I don't usually typically, like, depending on what I receive and all this kind of stuff, I'm gonna take it how I'm receiving it now. And it's like out of conflict with that. And so this one right here, if it was upright too, right, it's competing goals. Like reverse, I'm not competing with my goals. And it's not necessarily that you were competing, it's defending, because people want to compete. And so you're in the defense mode, right? Because you got something to prove too. And it's like, nah, you're not gonna fuck around, and you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna find out, right? That type of shit too, right? And so it's just like, right, so now you're moving, right? Because when you know better, you do better, and that's just it. When you know better, you do better, you know, and that's just it. We are removing all insecurities up in this bitch, right? Anybody that tries to shoot out and be like, and they try to send your way, a reflection upon their truest mirror, and every single kind of all you are is a mirror for them to see the true identity of all that they breed seed. May they grow past their own degeneracy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So sorry, we just, you know, whatever. So competing goals, right? So I'm not competing, right? There's no conflict with others, right? I posted something too. Anyways, not that one. But anyways, I posted something. And I just keep talking about this kind of stuff, and it's just getting into that space, getting into that place, getting into that energy. That energy space is the only place that you can get into that is going to allow you to rise past all that nonsense, that be out of there. Like, it's like, get to the point of existence that anybody can say whatever the fuck they want and you won't give a fuck. Like, straight. Like, all right, you just insulted me. Guess what? Who are you? You know what I mean? So it's like getting out of that shit, and then look at an unwise choice. Now look at upside down, making wise choices. Air is the element of our mentality. So now I'm making wiser choices. When I know better, I do better. Period. Right? Right. Learn what you learn, right? So learn what you can from the situation. Having learned what you have learned from every motherfucking situation, let a mofo try. You're gonna hit a fucking brick wall. Good luck penetrating the fucking brick wall. Brick wall. And even if you have to go get that dynamite and blow that shit up, guess who's getting blown up in that fucking mix? You. Because that's your own element fix. Got nothing to do, right? So you're starting to see that. You're starting to see other people's levels and doubles got nothing to do with you. All you are responsible for and accountable for is the level, and if you want to approach it with the devils in mind, that you gotta slay the beast every single time, most of the time it's your own internalness that you really gotta just work with at best. And then when you start seeing that it's always it's about the relationship that we have with ourselves above anything else. And I guess that's why too, I don't want to get emotional, but I've been so hit hard, like even by this like SineadOconnor and stuff like that, like, you know, because I think about it, like even just from like a mother perspective of just mind, like if you can't shift past a certain mind space, hell will be your wave. And that could be torturous in many kind of ways, especially if you can't let something go. And so I like that these are coming up reverse, because it's like there's a release here. There's a release here. Ooh, and then I look down, Ace of Waters. There's a release here. And there's a cupid, fluid, falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship. And you know, for me, we talk about this kind of stuff too, like my abstinent crew, my single crew, my celibate crew, my virgin crew, and all this kind of stuff. Like, this is also your relationship with yourself. Above everything else, yes, granted, yes, let's live in romance land. Let's go dive deep down into adventures of Wonderland, and let's all have our castles, and let's all have our prince and princess and queen and king and kingship and queenship and whatever the ship you want to be on. But can we all just get along? Right? So I like, what you doing? What you doing, you crazy cat? Right? So falling in love and the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, right? An enhanced intuition, a new home. For those of you that have been challenged by like thinking that maybe you can't move, or that's going to be another step for you, or maybe you're realizing you want to, or you want a new home, or you want to redecorate your home, or, you know, change state or move and stuff like that. This is a great time. But anyways, right, we're also going to talk about the right time to rest, time to take a vacation. Someone can be going on vacation, allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers, getting more into connecting with yourself, strength too, right? Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion, right? So yeah, so that brings me back to like the conjunction, right? So the Mercury conjunction, right? It's a time of like, this is great for that. Venus in retrograde too. Watch all my videos, even if it's in parts and stuff like that. But like making you more like softer, right? It's a time to soften, right? It's a time to soften, right? Making you more lovable, making you more charming, making you more charismatic, making you more approachable, right? Making you more conscious of how things appear. So you might be neater, you might refine, you might get like a lot more romantic at this time. And this is a great conjunction bridge to continue to build, right? Like with certain kind of stuff, right? So I said strength, right? So great inner strength, right? So the great inner strength of this cup of resurgence of loving, right? That you know, whatever the case may be. And things like too, you might have been passive and submissive. So it's like before, like being passive and submissive before. I should just put this down. Being passive and submissive from before, right? Now you're in a good state of, and if you're not there, you're getting there. Like, that's why you're watching this. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? This is like your path that you walk it. Like, why else would you be here? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's because something more is growing in for you, right? So, and before, what you may have been passive about, submissive about, or just dismissive about, right? You come to the state of place, or you will be, right? Coming to the state of place that allows you to find the peace within your peace, most importantly, and then proceed from there. And however then that looks, those steps that you make, it's a peaceful dance, like in command. And so you can't go wrong with that, right? So this is like with good diplomacy, this is good discipline, right? This is good coming from a strong point, right? So it's being able to find solutions to problems, like more, this is the energy, right, being shared, being able to be able to right, to solve problems, to really be able to communicate better, communicate best, to be able to understand your own placement so that you can forge the communication that needs to be presented, articulated. You are the articulation, articulation for the vibration frequency, because you're getting into it from an energy perspective that gets then articulated, and only you can come from the energetic energy space through the effort that you put in, the practice that you put in, the deliverance that you deliver, right? The deliverance that you deliver. What are you doing? Look at this crazy cat. Right? Over there. Right? So, you know, it's all about right now, right, with this conjunction. There's an amplified desire for creative self-expression, for the ability to get emotional, because I know that this too amplifies sadness, and I know that this can amplify depression, and I know that this can amplify other feelings, and I get it. I trust me when I say that I one of the strongest emotions I associate with in this life is sadness. And so it's with the heart of compassion in my own empathetic state of being, which is why I isolate often. What are you doing, you crazy cat? I'm very sensitive to my own personal energies along with worldly energy. You know what I'm saying? And so many of you that tap in, turn on, tune in with me, you too are hypersensitive in those kind of ways. And for those of you that are not, you're still hyper aware, right? Just being hyper aware doesn't have to make you hypersensitive, but for some of us are just hypersensitive. I happen to be hypersensitive. And, you know, that's the water in me too. Like, you know, I have a lot of heavy water signs in my astrological chart. If we were going to try to look for an explanation as to what could be the possible reason why I'm so watery, you know what I mean? It matches. That's one explanation of it. But either way, it's not the, I'm not dropping the load on astrology. I really feel things so deeply. I've had to question my deep feels, like, is this for real? Like, but you know, it always was. So before learning, you get what I mean? So you're discovering that too. You're discovering that you always was, you always were, and now you may be learning and it might feel new, but it always was. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a powerful place to be, because it's like a coming to your own liberation, your own sense of freedom, like something like validation. There you go, validation of something, you know, that has gone missing. You know what I mean? Like, I've just been so sensitive. Right. So things are looking up, right? 6 of air, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. You could be taking a trip, right? Where are you going? This is the time, this is to the season. A lot of people travel like at this time and stuff like that. So either way, right, going back to this like conjunction type energy, Knight of Water, right, being in your feelings, emotional. You might be feeling very emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, contemplative, but so like, but you know what makes me excited about this energy right now, right? It's just like because of this creative self-expression, like I feel it so deeply, like this ability to be able, like, granted, many of us here tapped into and tuned, we're all creatives. We all make stuff. We all enjoy doing certain kind of things and things like that. And so that's just a high potency ability, right? Like there's nothing that shuts off my creativity. Even when I stopped writing, supposedly all those years ago, I didn't stop writing. Maybe I wasn't writing the way that the perfectionist in me believed. And, you know, it created other bad habits that really, out of pure stubbornness and just not being able to let something go, I had lost some things that really broke me. And I punished myself. And so we can do that sometimes, right? Sometimes we punish ourselves, you know? And it doesn't mean we're stupid. It's just sometimes that's our conditioning. That tough love, that punishment type of love, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna stretch out my legs. But either way, right? Infusion, right? We're infusing our life, which is our art, in this canvas that we get to be creative on. And it's going to move us all in different ways. And that's what makes us all unique, right? It moves us in all different ways of how we choose to infuse our work with our own artistic flares and innovative thinking too. Like we're mixing this up too. We're mixing bate. It reminds me of the Dora. Bate, chocolate. Mix your chocolate. So you're mixing, right? And as you're mixing, you're also captivating. Right? You're captivating seeds well planted, right? Seven of Earth, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Right? So you're captivating. You're unique. Your unique vision and style is needed. It's your high profile. Like sit up straight, stand tall, breathe that in, release, and know that you got this. You know what I mean? Here's my little mini advert too. You can follow me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's me, the one and only. You can follow for free over there or also subscribe. There are two options for that. So it's follow and subscribe, where you would receive exclusive content that is dope as can be. If you have any questions about that, ask me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do a quick little mini advert because it's like super late, right? And I want to get through all of this kind of stuff too. You can also go to Blogger, Enchanting Babble, enchantingbabble.blogspot.com. That's me as well. You can follow me on TikTok, Alchemistic Poetess. You can still go to witchyutopian.com as well. Yeah, and you can also follow my second YouTube channel here, EnchantressTheeBabbler'S, at Mystic Muse Vlog. That's me. All the information will be in the description box below. There is a master link that I also share that you should handle with care. Copy and paste it and save it in your notes, because that master link, if we ever lose contact, you and I, that master link will always update you as to where you can find and connect with I on the platforms available that will be available for you and I to connect on. Yeah. All right. So. And for crying, I might have to go blow my nose. Right, so seeds are well planted, right? Stop worrying, right? It's unnecessary, right? So this is a good time too, right? To reflect, right, upon your values, to reflect upon that which you want to align with, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, romantically, professionally. You know what I mean? Right? So you are, right? So it's reevaluating. It's reevaluating your own ambitions, and it's just making that a topic of interest, right? King of Earth, right? Generous, professional, responsible, practical, right? A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch. So this is having that Midas touch, which is really, really good, because it's ensuring that we are aligning with that which we are prescribing with our own true passions, right? That which we create, living in our highest of morals and principles at this time too, right? It's an opportune moment to just continue to expand this element of infinite success, prosperity, abundance that is presenting itself here, right? And encouraging us to reflect upon that which really does matter and the value of that matter to us, and amplifying that too, right? Amplifying that with right? So it's amplifying our ambitions, right? But also reflecting upon it, reevaluating it, right? Aligning with your true principles, aligning with your truth, aligning with your authentic self, right? Aligning with your passions, aligning with, right, all these kind of things that are ideal for you, because this is an opportune time to revisit, revitalize, and revamp. I was talking about that with my subscribers on behind the scenes, inside scoops, you know what I mean? With my subscribers on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS, because, you know, I share things and stuff like that. But yeah, like I don't, like I was saying, like that's what I said. I was like, I don't, I know that a lot of, you know, on social media especially, they're like, oh, branding, brand yourself. And I have an issue with that. I really do. I have an issue with branding, because I'm like, I'm not to be branded. Like I'm an evolutionary being. I'm constantly shifting, morphing, changing, right? And I was saying that to them. I was like, every year since I've started my own entrepreneurial stuff, and this is years, like almost every year I've had different business cards. Like I'm always redesigning, remaking things like this. So every time it's like renewing, right? It's like a renewal, because I'm excited about what I do. It's not the same, like, you know, every year you get the same business card, every year you get the same flyer, every year you get the same. It's like, it's the same thing, like, you know, all these years, me being on social media, and the advice I would get from people that would try to help me to grow, and they're like, oh, you know, you should get more, like, you know, specific or an aesthetic and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm a wild horse. Like, what kind of aesthetic does that look like to you? Like, I'm not gonna like box myself in. So in my refusal for conformity, it has cost me, because where I could have like freaking sped up my own success rate process, like on social media and things like that, by just listening to certain type of advices, or doing certain kind of things. I'm like, that's just not me, like, you know what I mean? And it's not that, oh my god, like, you know, like whatever, but I'm just sharing, like, you know, this is just an example. You can put it wherever it is that it fits, in terms of where it'll resonate for you and stuff like that. But what I'm just saying is, like, I'm a soul having a human experience, and that's how I'm receiving my life at this time. I can't be fucking branded. I'm an evolutionist, right? And so I won't be branded. Yes, granted, we might make use with all the opportunity of all the technological advances that there are here for you to communicate, for you to articulate, for you to spread your infinite art, right? Do that which you feel called upon to do. I encourage that too. Like, I'm going to use every single platform that I find to be desirable, not because it's the thing to do, it's because it's the trend to do. Like, it's what I find desirable. That's why Instagram works for me. Prior to doing all that stuff, I really wasn't on social media. I was with a psychopath, first of all, during those times that social media took off and all this kind of stuff. I was a very private person, and by the time I finally created a Facebook, it was years later from when Facebook already existed. I never had like a MySpace. I never like did really anything. I did those AOL chat rooms when I was young, and I was never myself in those things. I was always somebody else, you know what I mean? And so by the time I was getting into social media, Instagram wasn't even popular, and I finally found a platform I liked, finally. And so it's been one ride since. Slow to me. But what was the rush? I never intended for it to be professional. It was just something I enjoyed doing. I liked expressing myself through memes, photos, expression. I was oh, this just fucking meme. Sorry, I was about to pause it, but I don't have to. Right. So this balance, right? Archangel Zachiel and justice, right behind it, Archangel Raguel, right? Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs, which you've been doing, right? The need for balance, or what you need to do, right? The balance, right? The balance, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation, compromise. Wait for the perfect timing, right? So it's like waiting for the perfect timing. But anyways, like, so, like, you know, slow rise. But you know, when you're building and you're creating legacies, it's gonna be like that. And there's, you know, granted, some people might have a hit success. We're proving that with certain kind of social media platforms, people can just have a one-hit wonder faster than what was before. But that's the technological speed upgrade of evolution. People can say, oh, they can be mad about that. There's people that are mad about that, like, oh, how we had to work for years and stuff like that, comparing and contrasting two different generations, because we're so conditioned to argue, to pick a side, to look at things in one dry manner. But either way, with this whole conjunction, what I like about it, right, we're going to be positive, right? It's aligning with our truest passions. It's aligning with our devout principles, like our morals, our things, right? And so during this like introspection and reassessment and anything that comes up during that reassessment, during that introspection, is our opportunity, right? Sorry, my nose is like really itchy. It's our like opportunity to really resolve any and all unresolved issues, because that is what introspection is all. Like, your strength is coming up again, right? Archangel Ariel, right? Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness and compassion. Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning, but you got this, right? The Ace of Air is like just like the sword of truth, right? The Ace of Swords, right? Sword of truth, right? So memory, so you could be traveling right now, revisiting, right? So this revisiting memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. So having to heal through those waters that might be troublesome in the heart realm. And that's why too, like, so, you know, it's no coincidence too that Sinead O'Connor, you know, took her own life at this time. And granted, there's no sounding board for that. It's an injustice in many kind of ways, right? When people do that. But when I think about these transits too that are heavily influencing and stuff like that, I just think that I understand how heavy it could feel, and how alone in that feel, and what that could be like. I don't wish that kind of hate on nobody. Let us really be more mindful and considerate and compassionate towards our fellow human beings that be struggling with things you do not think about. Let's approach our mindfulness with caution and wisdom. The dreamer. She was a Sagittarius too. I learned that after she passed. Now she is a Sagittarius. Her birthday was December 8th. I find that interesting. So in Vedic astrology, she would be a Scorpio too. Like me. Sagittarius, Scorpio. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. Unexpected opportunities, right? So that's good, right? So and also too, like with our professional networks, right, with this conjunction, it's working those atmospheres, right? It's essential at this time to practice patience, which is, oh no, it wasn't for this, but I think patience came up for something, but it wasn't for them, right? So then you have it forming a square or some shit with the nodes, right? Pluto and the nodes, right? And so it's because they're in Aries, right? Aries Libra axis, right? Aries Libra axis. So it's like this whole entire powerhouse dynamic that just wants to nest. It wants to nest, right? So this is a prompting of like deep exploration, especially in regards to our professional life, our professional careers, and our relationships as well, our intimate relationships, right? And what we are evoking and what we are contemplating, right? And what are we establishing, right? And what meaningful connections are we truly making, and what are we initiating, and what new agreements are we coming into? Things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation, taking a trip, that came out again, right? The 6th of air. But like, right, so it's like, you know, so right, so with even with the relationship that it's having with like Pluto, right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep shifting because I'm on my butt, okay? Right? King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. You can have fire in your chart too. Focus, 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 communicate with vision, and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. And so you might be opening up more to receiving two messages to the divine. It's just like when I was learning too in my own life that you hear God in everyone. And it could even come from like a stranger, right? You'll just hear something or a song comes on, like clairaudience, clairpotency. But either way, right? Embracing. And so since the square that it's creating with Pluto and the nodes and all this kind of stuff, right, it's embracing and holding our independence, right, and our aspirations and how we are approaching certain kind of things and aligning with certain kind of things, and being really, really, really ignited in our passions and our purpose, right? Inspiring, embracing, right? Embracing and inspiring, right? And all this lead, because it's leading with, right, with the nodes, it's in Aries, right? But that's with the leadership qualities, right? And striving for our own personal growth, right? So Ace of Air, right? Brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning, but getting through that challenging beginning, right? Right. And so the 6 of Water. So it's like repeat cards, right? So even though I'm shuffling, like as I'm talking, like, you know, wherever, and it's just when it's like that, I switch up the decks. Like it's like this is finished talking to me. Hold on. Okay, all right. So So look at, so then look, I split the deck. I just open this one and I get the 9 of Swords and I get the 3 of Swords. And it's like, what situation in your life is creating fear and anxiety? And what is the feeling trying to tell you, right? And the 3 of Swords, what painful aspect of your life do you need to confront, right? Well, so for this major transformation, right, this outdated behavior pattern that doesn't serve, right? Reassessing, right, your soul's purpose, right? The role that you're gonna allow yourself to play out. What belief systems are you allowing yourself to play out, right? What parts of your condition are hindering your ability for personal progress, right, in this process, right? So establishing a foundation of stability and emotional equilibrium, right? Sorry, these are like 6 of Cups, right? So what memories in the past are trying to get your attention, right? Could be Scorpio too. You'll have Scorpio in your chart, right? So this transformational energy that is occurring right now in your relationships, the formation of these new agreements that you're making and stuff like that, right? And the emancipation, right, from manipulative tendencies in any kind of degree, shape, or form. It's like, okay, right? 4 of Cups, right? Letting go. What offer opportunities being presented to you that you may not be recognizing, right? So it's like, what are you not recognizing? What are you not seeing? What is it that, what parts of your unique path? 8 of Pentacles, what are you working on, right? So what areas of your life requires you to create, right? I like that, right? So what are some of your like chosen like vocations, right? What are you aiming to carve like uniquely? Like what path resonates with your whole entire being, right? What outdated behavior patterns do you need to relinquish or release and stuff like that, right? What belief systems are leading your way, right? What outdated systems, right? And things like that, right? So what's hindering your personal progress if that's the case, right? What are you enabling in others, right? So look at this 9 of Swords wants to keep coming out too, right? So this whole entire like transit and stuff like that, I'm sorry, wants to emancipate you from anything that has hindered your entire ability to push forward, push past, to grow, rise, to extend, to expand. And so now here's this great opportunity of a time for justice to take place, right? What needs to be resolved and set right in your life. State it clearly, affirm it, right? Proclaim it. The Emperor. In this situation, where can you find wisdom and stability? And the Empress. Right? So what is growing and evolving in my life that needs my attention, right? So what is happening here, right? I like that too, right? So and what kind of like meaningful relationships are you creating right now at this time, right? King of Cups, Page of Cups, someone too coming through, King of Wands, Knight of Wands, I mean, right? So someone with fire and water in their chart as well. What are you passionate and motivated about in your life, right? What situation in your life is bringing about some type of opportunity, and what situation in your life requires balanced emotions and careful observations, right? Right. So I love that. 6 of Swords. We got 6 of Swords in 2 different decks, right? What do you need to remove yourself from for peace of mind, right? Another way to look at that coming out of, you know, trying times. It's always the mental ride, right? And what that's going to represent for you, right? Ace of Cups, right? Are you prepared to have a new beginning in love? 2 of Wands. Are you prepared to make a decision that may change the course of your life? And one more for the road, because we're going to go after this. Okay, 2 came out, right? So 7 of Swords, 9 of Cups. What situation in your life is bringing you emotional fulfillment? And 7 of Swords. What situation in your life do you need to protect and cherish? All right. So I'm gonna leave you guys at that. Till next time. Bye now.